This is VOA News. Reporting by remote, I'm David Byrd. President Joe Biden headed to Capitol Hill Friday as Democrats strain to rescue a scaled-back version of his $3.5 trillion government overhaul plan and to salvage a related public works bill after days of frantic negotiations resulted in no deal. Speaking to reporters, the president said he would take however long he needs to get a deal on his bills.
It doesn't matter when. It doesn't matter whether it's in 6 minutes, 6 days, or 6 weeks. We're going to get it done.
The House had hoped to vote Friday on the smaller public works bill, but that seems unlikely as the talks drag on. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia wants to scale back the big bill to $1.5 trillion, but that's too meager for progressive lawmakers. California has announced the United States' first coronavirus vaccine mandate for school children. Governor Gavin Newsom said Friday the mandate would not take effect until the COVID-19 vaccine has received final approval from the U.S. government for various grade levels.
Once the FDA approves the vaccination in different cohorts, starting with 12 and above, grades 7 to 12, we will begin to apply that requirement in the next term, either January 1st or July 1st, whichever comes sooner.
California will mandate the vaccine in kindergarten through 6th grades once the federal government gives final approval for anyone aged 5 and older. On Wall Street, stocks ended the week on an up note, with the Dow Jones Industrials gaining 1.43%, the S&P rose by 1.15%, and the Nasdaq added 0.82%. Visit voanews.com for more. This is VOA News. Drug maker Merck said Friday that its experimental COVID-19 pill reduced hospitalizations and deaths by half in people recently infected with the coronavirus, potentially a leap forward in the global fight against the pandemic. At a news conference Friday, Dr. Anthony Fauci said the Merck findings are obviously good news.
The data are impressive. There was a 50% diminution. Of importance is that in the placebo group there were 8 deaths, and in the treatment group there were no deaths. That's also very important and very good news.
The company said it would soon ask health officials in the United States and around the world to authorize the pill's use. A decision from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration could come within weeks after that, and the drug, if okayed, could be distributed quickly soon afterward. If cleared, it would be the first pill shown to treat COVID-19. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison on Friday announced an 18-month ban on Australians traveling abroad would be lifted next month, easing one of the toughest COVID-19 restrictions globally. Reuters' Jason Albano reports.
Prime Minister Scott Morrison on Friday said the news comes as state vaccination rates began crossing the 80% target set earlier this year. Morrison had slammed Australia's international borders shut 18 months ago, with only a limited number of people allowed to leave the country for critical business or humanitarian reasons.
It's time to give Australians their lives back. We've saved lives, we've saved livelihoods, but we must work together to ensure that Australians can reclaim the lives that they once had in this country. And we must work together to achieve that goal.
Under the new plan, Australians who are fully vaccinated will be able to travel abroad and complete a 7-day quarantine at home upon returning. Further changes are expected to allow foreigners to enter the country.
That's Reuters' Jason Albano. Consumer spending accelerated in August despite a surge in COVID-19 cases. AP's Ben Thomas has details.
Following a slight decline in July, the Commerce Department reports consumer spending rose 0.8% in August. At the same time, personal income rose by a smaller 0.2%, suggesting consumers dug into their savings to fuel that spending. Americans spent more on furniture, clothing, and groceries, as well as online. At the same time, the spread of the Delta variant of the coronavirus led Americans to pull back on travel and dining out. The additional demand, combined with supply shortages, kept inflation high. Consumer prices increased 0.4% from July. And over the past year, prices have risen 4.3%. Ben Thomas, Washington.
Reporting by remote, I'm David Byrd, VOA News.